ECU Athletics and U.S. Cellular present The Jeff Lebo Show. The Jeff Lebo Show is brought to you by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless provider of the ECU Pirates. And now, in his 25th year, the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles.
Hi, and welcome to the show. It's great to be back with you, and great to have this opportunity to speak to the Pirate Nation and to thank each and every one of you for all the heartwarming support that we've had over the last 6 weeks. You know, today we have so many ways to communicate, and I've gotten cards and letters from people all the way from Scotland, all the way across the United States. We appreciate each and every one of them, the text messages, also the emails, even the tweets that we've had. Thank you so much. You'll never understand just how grateful we are for each and every one of you and the messages that you've sent to Debbie and me. And I'd also like to thank our surgeons who have been with us from day one. Dr. Mark Manwaring is a wonderful young surgeon who's done a terrific job with us, and also Dr. Michael Bard. Thank you so much to those guys. And to my wife, Debbie, who's been with me, of course, 24/7 through this whole ordeal. We're looking forward to getting back and being with you on the radio network and the television show one of these days real soon, thanks to the guys, Billy Weaver, Tony Castricone, who have pinch hit for me as well. But we're looking forward to getting back. I'm getting stronger, getting better each and every day, and someday we'll be back with you full time.
Welcome into the Jeff Lebo Show, everyone. I'm Billy Weaver, sitting in for Jeff Charles. Great to hear from the voice at the top of our show. We'll hear from Jeff Lebo coming up in just a moment. Coming up on the show today, the Pirates open the Conference USA schedule on the road in Memphis. We'll have highlights from the FedEx Forum. The Pirates return home for a Saturday night showdown against the UCF Knights. We'll have those highlights and player reaction. Heather Macy's squad looked to improve to 11-3 on the season as they played host to the Rice Owls in their conference opener here at Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum. Strength and conditioning coach Jeff Connors will be along with his weekly Camp Connors segment. Trust me, folks, that's one you won't want to miss. And we'll look ahead to next week's game against Houston and Marshall. Stay with us. The head coach of the Pirates, Jeff Lebo, joins me right after this.
We'll be right back with more of The Jeff Lebo Show, presented by U.S. Cellular and sponsored in part by BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction, and by Pizza Hut's $10 pizza. The Jeff Lebo Show continues with sponsorship by Suddenlink. Bundle and save with Suddenlink. Call 1-877-807-3806 today. And by Coke Zero. Every sip of Coke Zero is like a game-winning shot for your taste buds.
Welcome back into the show, everyone. Coach Jeff Lebo joining us, and Coach has kind of been the MO of this team all year. Slow starts. Once again, it happened at Memphis, and that's a place you can't really have a slow start.
Well, you can't, and although our team really responded awfully well after that slow start, I thought we had the tempo the way we wanted it early in the game. Offensively, we just could not score late in shot clock situations, had some good looks. Turnovers were a problem in the first half, 12 of them. That led to a lot of Memphis baskets.
Well, I tell you what, between the game at North Carolina, at Memphis, then UCF, three of the best teams on the schedule that you'll face pretty much in a short period of time, your guys will certainly be ready down the stretch.
Well, I hope so. You know, it doesn't get any easier. Obviously, we got Central Florida here at home, a terrific player, preseason Conference USA Player of the Year in Keith Clanton. But you know, the Memphis game, we had opportunities. Let's go back to that game, and you know, we cut the lead to 6. We have it late. 3 minutes ago, it's a 7-point game. Really proud of the guys, the way they responded, but we just can't dig those type of holes. 27 points we were down in the first half, and then we go on that 21-0 run that cuts it in a 4-minute stretch. It wasn't over a 10-minute stretch. It was over a 4-minute stretch. Really proud of our effort and offensive execution during that stretch.
Let's take you out to FedEx Forum in Memphis for the Conference USA opener for East Carolina as they took on the Memphis Tigers. Big crowd on hand at FedEx Forum in Memphis. East Carolina taking on the Tigers. And, of course, you guys come out quickly. Coach Miguel Paul hitting a 3 right here off the bat.
It was quickly for the first minute. I think, you know, got a good start. 3-point shot there by Miguel. And, We wanted to establish tempo in this game and not shoot the ball quickly and get into a rat race with them.
Then later in the first half, Memphis getting out to a 30-9 lead. Antonio Barton, he's tough with the three-pointer here.
Well, he's the one guy that can really shoot it from the perimeter. He gets loose here in transition, and our defensive balance wasn't great there in that possession, but he made us pay with a big shot from the left wing.
DJ Stevens for Memphis here, he's an athlete. He shows the windmill dunk here, and it seems like they're getting a little comfortable here.
Well, they were getting comfortable, and we were letting them get comfortable with some live ball turnovers that resulted in layups on the other end, and he's probably one of the most explosive jumpers in all college basketball. 27-point lead here when Damian Wilson hits for Memphis. Damian Wilson, a big-time player coming out of high school, hardly plays for them. That's how good they are. He's got some quickness and beats Maurice Kemp here in the baseline.
Speaking of Maurice Kemp, you needed him down the stretch of the first half to kind of make this a little bit respectable and manageable going in. Maurice Kemp with the dunk to get it started off the turnover, and then the layup here by Maurice Kemp. 7 points consecutively scored by Maurice Kemp going into halftime.
Well, that was big for us to get it back to 20 points at half and give us a little bit of confidence into the second half.
Now, you would think 20 points is insurmountable. Not the case with East Carolina this year, certainly. You start out the second half. Shamar Bowden hits a three right here, and you're off and running.
Well, we had good offensive execution. We shot the ball. We came out at the halftime with the right mindset. I liked what we were talking to our kids about at halftime. I like how our kids responded to each other through some adversity at halftime, and we came out and really played awfully well for a 4-minute stretch.
Consecutive three-pointers by Shamar Bowden. Then Robert Sampson steps out and hits a three.
That was good to see. We need him to shoot the ball from the perimeter. So much of what we do is spacing involving Robert. 2 of 4 from 3, and hopefully that'll help his confidence.
4 3-pointers in the span of a couple of minutes. You go on a 14-0 run. Bowden with 11 points in that stretch, and you're back in this game.
Well, in a 4-minute stretch, going back to the second half, it was 7-0 and 14-0. That's 21-0 at Memphis in a 4-minute period. Not many teams can do that.
Memphis settles down a little bit, but later in the game, it's a 46-38 game when Miguel Paul hits the three, had 10 points and 7 assists.
We kind of went back and forth there about the 8 to 10 point stretch there. We couldn't quite get it. We got it under to the 5-point point about the 9-minute mark, I believe, but we couldn't get enough defensive stops when we needed to.
Still trying to claw back into this thing, and here Maurice Kemp hits the layup, and he gets fouled and gets the free throw to fall.
Well, that was big for us, a good, strong move to the basket. Maurice finished that one. He has so many that he gets there that he's not able to finish, but nice to see him make that 3-point play.
Here's DJ Stevens again. I know you might see him in your worst nightmares, the follow-up dunk here, and he's a handful.
Well, if you don't put a body on him, he can go places where nobody else can go, and we have half of a checkout on him there by Maurice, but he keeps working the offensive board and gets up in the air and puts it down.
Then Memphis with back-to-back layups here, and they're out to an 11-point lead, but you're still not out of it.
No, we're still, got it manageable here, and we think hopefully if we can keep it at the under 5 and it's, a single-digit game, we can make it interesting and make it tight, which we did, and we had a couple opportunities coming down the stretch here with a 3-pointer, I think, coming up by Robert Sampson here at the 3-minute mark to cut it to 7.
Yeah, but then the time just kind of runs out on you, and there's a steal by DJ Stevens and a dunk at the other end that kind of puts the exclamation point on it. 67-54 is the final, but, Coach, you got to feel good about the way your team battled.
Well, we battled hard. We were resilient, and, hopefully we learned some lessons in playing in a really tough environment.
So the Pirates make a valiant effort at Memphis, but you come up just a little bit short. Coach, you got to be proud of your team really stepping up. And it seems a couple times this year, having gotten back behind early, they've really showed some fight.
Well, we've been competitive, and, that's the first step when you build a program. We got to be able to find a way to get over the hump. And, when you're playing against high-level competition, you can't have stretches like we've had for 6 to 8 minutes in a game where we've not been particularly good offensively and defensively and then turn the ball over and expect to win those games. But we've learned a lot from our early season games here and a lot from this last game against Memphis.
Coming up next on the Jeff Lebo Show, we'll take you inside Williams Arena Minges Coliseum for the second Conference USA game of the season as East Carolina takes on UCF. Keep it right here.
The final stats from this week's game are brought to you by your Carolina Chevy dealers.
Welcome back into the Jeff Lebo Show. Coach, you went on the road for the first Conference USA game. It always seems like you're going to Memphis in the opener, but you come back here to Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum. What were you telling your guys after the Memphis game going into the UCF game?
Well, we wanted to show them the positive things that we did. We also wanted to show them where we broke down, where we made mistakes. Our toughness isn't where we need to be physically or mentally. We're not an imposing group. Even though we're a little taller at the 3, we got Maurice Kemp at 180. We got Robert is about 205 pounds there. Our guards aren't particularly big. So we've got to get a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger, have a better mindset for 40 minutes in a game.
Game number 2 of the Conference USA schedule. Let's take you out to Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum, East Carolina, and UCF. A very good and very vocal crowd at Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum for East Carolina taking on UCF, and Coach Ty Armstrong inside. He had 16 points, gets the first bucket of the game.
Well, we wanted to go right at Clanton inside. I thought Ty was terrific early in the first half when he caught it inside, went right to his patented jump hook move and scored to start the game.
Now the time where Spurlock comes in here and gives them a big spark. He scored 7 consecutive points right here, and it stretches this game to a 9-point lead at the end of the first half. UCF ends the half on a 14-3 run.
Spurlock played great, 23 points. He's a Virginia transfer. He's sat out and now he's a redshirt junior, and he really hurt us. I thought he was really aggressive offensively in this game, and one of his best games of his junior year.
We begin the second half, and Spurlock here on the big dunk, the follow-up dunk here, and he was very confident. He had a career high as well.
Well, he's terrific. Athletic, can shoot it. He's got size at 6'8", and you see his athleticism on that dunk.
You guys running in transition. Miguel Paul gives it to Maurice Kemp, and surprise, surprise, Maurice Kemp did not score the entire first half. This is his first bucket of the game.
Well, it's amazing that that was his first basket. He didn't play much in the first half, only played 4 minutes, had 2 quick fouls. Hard for us to be as good as we need to be without him scoring and being on the floor. Finally got going in the second half.
Your team's leading scorer does finish with 16 points all in the second half. A great second half by East Carolina. The turnover here, Shamar Bowden really starting to feel it when he hits the 3, and then another 3 at the 4-minute mark. And Shamar Bowden with back-to-back threes to get you right back into this game and got the crowd into it.
Well, we've been doing it all year. We've made the rallies from behind. Our kids didn't panic, and Shamar was key coming down the stretch. Not only making threes, I thought he was really dialed in defensively.
We talked about Maurice Kemp having a solid second half, and he gets the foul, makes 2 free throws right here. You're up 76-74.
Yeah, a minute to go, makes 2 big ones. We got to get a stop on the other end. And you know where it's going to go. Yeah. We just got to be able to stop it, but couldn't stop here at Clanton. It ties it up in overtime. We had a chance there on a missed shot to grab the rebound. It goes off us, and they get a second chance at it, and they go right where they need to go, to Keith Clanton.
They go down to Keith Clanton. He ties it up. We're headed into overtime, tied at 76. The first bucket of the overtime, Sampson on the dunk here on a great dish by Miguel Paul.
Great little step-up ball screen. He gets right down the middle of the paint, sees Robert right underneath the basket, and he finishes with the dunk.
1:20 left in overtime. You're down by 1. Shamar Bowden once again hits the 3. He had 16 points.
Big shot in overtime, and I think he's really been shooting the ball with some confidence in our last 3 games, and we needed it at crunch time by our seniors.
It's either double Clanton and let some other guys hurt you, or let him go one-on-one. He ties the game up here. He's got 36 points. We're tied at 85 all in overtime.
Well, that was the coach's decision. We don't do a lot of doubling in the post. I thought we'd play him a little bit better than giving him 36, but he showed why we probably need to double him the next time we play. But, they go right to him. He scores. We got the ball here for the last second shot.
And it is a great shot at the last second. Miguel Paul creates. He drives, dishes out to Corvon Gaines. Corvon Gaines didn't even take a shot the entire game, and he absolutely buries one. As a coach, that's got to make you happy.
Well, for a senior, too, to do it, and he's worked hard, and he stayed with us, and really happy for him. Our coaches are happy, but our players are really happy in that locker room for C.
Corvon Gaines, the game winner in overtime. East Carolina wins it 88-85.
It just felt good, man. We fought all the way back. Last time we tried Campbell, we fell short, and it just felt good to just get ahead and win the game.
The final stats from this week's game are brought to you by your Carolina Chevy dealers.
All I can say is 11 offering 30 or better is impressive.
But what about 4 that offer 40 or more?
That's good too.
Hey guys, what's the debate?
I think Chevy's having 11 models that offer an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better is a big deal.
Whereas I would say Chevy's 4 models offering an EPA estimated 40 mpg highway or better is even bigger.
Sounds great. So where are they?
Where aren't they? Malibu?
Cruise?
Camaro?
Sonic?
Equinox?
Visit your local Chevy dealer today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today we're with the famous Billy Weaver. What we're going to do today is we're going to assess his hip and shoulder mobility and then prescribe a few things that might help him in the future become more mobile. With this particular test, we're going to be assessing his hip flexibility, looking at the ankle, knee, and hip joint, and also his shoulder mobility and T-spine. Okay. All right, that's not bad for an old man. Out of 1 to 3, I'll probably give him about a 2-. This exercise is referred to as a Mike Tyson. So we're gonna get under the hurdle and bob and weave like a boxer. Okay, Billy, let's see how it looks. That's it, push those hips down. That's it, good. Good job. We'll usually do about 25, 30 reps with this type of exercise. Good job. Okay, now we're going to do lateral walkovers, and we're also going to add the dowel overhead so his torso's in a great position, and he's got to focus on using the lower musculature to step over these hurdles. Okay, here we go. Try to keep that foot under the knee. That's it. Good. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of resistance to the movement, and what I want him to do is try to skip over the hurdles. So a little bit more dynamic. Keep that ball overhead. Let's see you pop off the ground with that foot. That's it. Okay, good. All right, Billy did a great job today improving his mobility. He's going to be a lot more efficient moving from location to location and have that great shoulder stability and T-spine stability to hold that camera up. Great job today, buddy.
Thanks.
Remember, Pirate fans, you can be a part of the Jeff Lebo Show. It's Ask Coach Lebo, powered by U.S. Cellular. Text the word coach to 94597. You'll be asked to submit your question to Coach Lebo. He'll pick one to answer each week. Here now is Coach Lebo.
This week's text question is from Russell in New Bern, wondering the status of Aaron Strawn. Aaron's going to redshirt this year, not able to come back from his injury, not yet able to practice. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have him back on the floor, but we'll redshirt him this year, have him for his senior year next year.
This week's Look Ahead is brought to you by the Eye Care Center. Eye doctors focused on you and the official eye care provider of the Pirates.
Welcome back into the Jeff Lebo Show, everyone. Coach, you got another Wednesday, Saturday deal with Houston and Marshall. This is when you get into the mix of the Conference USA schedule, 16 consecutive games in Conference USA.
Well, next at Houston, I think they have the best record in Conference USA right now, overall record. And then Marshall on the road, you got DeAndre Kane back, who's been hurt, the team that is really, really talented, picked second in Conference USA.
It's going to be a fun road, and of course, everybody looking towards March, and this is where your team has to get better.
Well, we got to get better. We got to find some guys off the bench, I think, that can be consistent offensive players for us, and we're looking for those guys to step in and get some extra minutes for us.
Well, thanks, Coach, for joining us. We'll see you next week after the Marshall game.
Thanks, Billy.
That's Jeff Lebo. We're here on the Jeff Lebo Show each week. Next week, we'll take a look at Houston and Marshall. We'll see you next week.
The Jeff Lebo Show has been presented by U.S. Cellular. Hello, Better. This is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.